On this first video of the presentation section of the analytical applications, we will present an application which will be quite interesting for the purchasing department people and also for a responsible or manager of several departments, like the maintenance departments, like the production departments, and so on. Because we will speak now about an application which deals with the purchase order value. The name of the application is the following: Monitor Purchase Order Item. So we will right now execute our first analytical app. I will use here the search and I will write down the name of the application. So here, Monitor Purchase Order Item. So here SAP displays the application. I will just click on it in order to execute and start this analytical application. As in every SAP Fiori application, and you might already know how it works, you have first on the top of the screen the selection fields. So the first thing to do is to select or to filter with several fields. In this case, only the currency is mandatory because in this application, SAP will display purchase order value with the items, and he required the currency in order to display a correct amount. So here, let's specify EUR for European euro. You could also filter by supplier, by material number, by plant, and so on. And you have here also a lot of fields here: the item category, the material group description, the order type, and so on. So more than 65 different filters. So here, let's click on Go in order to see how this analytical application looks like. So first here, on this part of the screen, you have a graphical view with some amount and information about the purchase orders items. On the bottom of the screen here, you have the list of results which composed our graphical view here. So this is just a list of all the PO items. You can, if you would like to, make some modification about the layout. So you could here add some new columns, remove some columns, change the order, sort, filter, group, and so on. Here the layout as we already seen together previously in our session. So let's press OK here. I just also would like to tell you that you can, if required, maximize the table view. So here with this functionality, you can make it bigger in order to see the result table in all the screen. Then you just have to click one more time on this button in order to minimize it. And here, for sure, you also have the export features. By clicking on it, you will export to spreadsheet. And here you have the export and export as features, which is quite common for a result table in the SAP in a general manner, but also in Fiori applications. But let's focus right now on the graphical view here, which is quite interesting in our case. So here we can see that we have as dimension the material group. Raw materials is a material group, finished goods is another material group, frame is another material group, and so on. You have as measures here 3 different values: the net order value in blue, the value to be delivered in orange, and the value to be invoiced in green. So you can see here, this is the amount for the net order value for the first material group, raw materials. This is the amount for the value to be delivered, and this is the amount for the value to be invoiced. And it is exactly the same for each material group. And you can see here what costs the too much and so on, which material group costs too much, etc. So here, first, you can change the view by. So you can search for another dimension. Maybe you would like to see this graphical tool by company code or by created by goods receipt, by order category, item category, by order date, and so on. So this is also quite nice as a configuration tool. Here you have a toggle legend visibility. If you uncheck this box in order to hide these three legends, these three measures, they will not be present anymore in the screen, and you will have more space for your graphical view. So if I uncheck this box, you can see the legend is not present anymore, and we have here more space for our graphical view. And if you check it, then the legend is present again. You have also here the zoom in like that and the zoom out features. But what is really interesting with this tool, and particularly with this application, is the settings here. So like in Excel, you will be able to choose your own dimensions and your own measures. So in this case, we have the material group as dimension and the net order value, value to be delivered, and value to be invoiced as measures. If we select and click on the settings button here, you can see all the options you have. Currently, as we've seen, we have the material group as dimension, and these three values here, net order value, value to be delivered, and value to be invoiced here as measures. If you uncheck this box, then you will not display it in the graphical view. Let's suppose that you would like to change the dimension and you would like to replace the material group by maybe the company code. Then you just have to uncheck the material group and to check the company code dimension here. And if you press OK, then you will have the company code as dimension. So here we have two company codes, this one 1210 and 1710. And then you have the same measures, which are the net order value, value to be delivered, and value to be invoiced. But you could also change them. If you go again in the settings, and maybe you would like to replace the net order value here by maybe the delivered value here, which is also a measure, you just have to check this box, press OK, and then here you can see that we have now in green the delivered value and not the value to be delivered, or the net order value, sorry. Here we have the value to be delivered and the value to be invoiced, and here we have now the delivered value. But I could also remove all the remaining measures, like the value to be invoiced and the value to be delivered, in order to see only the delivered value here. If I press OK, I will only see one here measure, which is the delivered value in blue here by company code. So this is really interesting because you will be able to manage and to configure your own graphical view like in Excel. Here you can use the same features in order to maximize this view, to have it in all the screen. You can here also change the graphical or the chart types. If you would like to use the bar chart, for example, like that, You could also use the P chart here, like that. You can also use maybe the heat map, like that, and so on. So according to what you would like to see, you could change and select several chart types allowed and proposed by SAP Fiori. And here we have three different buttons. With this configuration, you will see the graphical part on the top, and here then the result table, like it is shown on the picture, on the icon here. By clicking on this button, you will only see in all the screen the graphical view. So let's do it. You can see that you can see in all the screen the graphical view. And if you select on this one, in the opposite, you will only see the table view in all the screen. So this was the monitor purchase order item application, which is an analytic application which can be really useful for several persons in a company. And you can see that you can manage it and personalize it according to your business needs. So in your future use of SAP Fiori, you might use this purchase monitor order item application.